What's up, you guys? Hope everyone's rocking and rolling. Welcome to another episode of The Adventures of an Entrepreneur, where we interview different people that have had success in launching their own businesses, or they were working full-time somewhere and then went into their own entrepreneurial role, or maybe they run a business and they run multiple businesses. But what you're going to learn today are some really cool tips and tricks and strategies about how to be a successful entrepreneur. I'm super excited for our guests, but please make sure you guys like and subscribe to this episode and to the podcast. There's a lot of good content. So get ready. We're about to rock and roll. It'll be like AC/DC, or maybe that was I Want to Rock and Roll All Night.
Kiss.
Oh, that's right. It was Kiss.
Yes.
So please welcome John Strock to the studio. What's up, John?
What's up, B?
John, how long have I known you?
5 years? Feels like forever, but it feels, I think, 5 solid years.
I've known you for 5 years.
I think so, yeah.
It feels like 55 years.
I know.
I'm just kidding. Dude, you
It's
are.
got that Lake Braddock deep connection, that's why.
Actually, you know what? So we do know each other for a while. That's right. Which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
John, tell us a little bit about yourself. Married, kids?
So I am married to my wife, Betsy. We live in Falls Church with our 2 boys, Carrie and Jordy, our dog, Pip, and our cat, Riley. So, yeah, we live in a little neighborhood over in Falls Church.
How long have you guys been married?
14 and 3/4 years.
Awesome.
Exactly to the day.
Actually, so when were you working before real estate, before you made that your career? What were you doing before?
Yeah, so I mean, real estate is, I feel old saying this, but it's actually almost a second career for me. I was in the nonprofit sector for about 15 years before I got into real estate.
And nonprofit, like just for a small organization, national organization?
National, yeah. So I did stuff. Mostly what I worked on was workforce development for the construction industry. So trying to get young people, as early as middle school, sort of exposed to the construction industry and show them there's opportunity, whatever they like, whatever they're good at, they can find some opportunity within construction.
Super cool.
Design, or whatever, man.
How'd you get into that? How'd you hear about it?
It's interesting, because my dad and my brother are both engineers, both were in construction. My dad in construction after the Army. And so I thought that would be my path, right? I liked construction, I liked home building, that sort of stuff. And, but I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I didn't have the same skill sets as they did, right? So I kind of fell into this association job, and I had no idea what that world was all about. But that's how it kind of started, and I just I ended up working for just only 2 organizations in that 15 years, doing the same type of work for the industry and working with young people to try to get them engaged and excited about doing something in the future.
Did not know that. Actually, I knew a little bit of it. I didn't know it was 2 different organizations. Yeah. I did not know it was 15 years.
Yeah.
So actually, that was your full-time career.
Yeah, from 22 on to maybe 23, something like till 40. I started real estate at 40. Yeah.
So 22. When you say 2002.
22 years old, 23 years old. Yeah.
Oh, 22. Yeah. So let me ask this. So how did you transition into real estate, and why real estate?
Yeah. For me, my path was interesting with the association world because I loved it. I love what I did. I love what we focused on. It was rewarding. It felt good. I loved going to work. I loved the people I work with, and I just loved our mission, and it was fun to accomplish that. But as I sort of got further into the association world and kind of got into leadership and things like that, I began to enjoy it less, and I got really just kind of burned out doing that stuff. I got further from the mission and further from the fun stuff, and more responsibility in ways that I didn't really want, and I wasn't really ready to handle, to be honest. And I just wasn't feeling good about that anymore. And I had never honestly felt good in a 9-to-5 job, and I never knew why. I couldn't figure it out, but I never felt like I could stay busy within the confines of a 9-to-5.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, no, that's good.
So I wanted to do something totally different. I didn't know what. I never thought I'd be in sales, and I don't think I am. We'll get to that later. But I started talking to some friends of mine that were in real estate because it looked fun. It looked like they really enjoyed what they were doing. It looked like they were doing well. So I started having those conversations with friends of mine, and most of them honestly tried to talk me out of doing it.
Tried to talk you out of getting into real estate.
Yep. At least maybe it was my age. I don't know what it was, but just this how hard it is to break in and how long it is before you can do a deal, and you got to save this much money so that you can get through this, and they just made it sound. They gave me a somewhat realistic picture, but it didn't really paint much on the positive side of it. It was more just, hey,
What made you say, okay, well, thanks for the input, I'm still going to do it?
Honestly, I just was so intrigued by it, and they were still positive in some ways, but they gave me the real kind of dirty, here's what you got to deal with, the negative side.
Yeah.
But I just said, it's something I really want to try. And, I went through the licensing, really loved what I learned there. And then I still didn't know, am I going to be a realtor? I didn't know really what I was going to do. But I just went for it. And I was fortunate that my wife is full-time and we have benefits. So it wasn't this huge risk for me, like a lot of people, and I respect people that just go straight in, single income. That's
no safety net, no nothing.
No safety net. I was not in that situation. So I was really fortunate to have that safety net. Yeah. But it was still a big risk for our family. And it was still something I was doing that was new.
So it's interesting you say this, and this is really important. This is a nugget I don't even know if you dropped. And I say nuggets a lot. So like whether Chick-fil-A or McDonald's, which nuggets do you like better?
McDonald's.
Ooh, I've had other guests on saying Chick-fil-A.
Sure they do.
Of course.
They're wrong.
The sweet and sour sauce from McDonald's.
The best.
Is hands down good.
Next level.
I would put that on quarter pounders with cheese. Or
I would dip my cheeseburgers in it. Absolutely.
Like that. I haven't had McDonald's in 12 years, but it's all good because I inflate right before I go anywhere. I have an air pump in the car. And it's really cool. It's like, oh my gosh, I sometimes feel chopped. I don't know if you know what chopped is or like disheveled, but I digress. But I think what's really cool in the nugget was you were working full time. You felt like you weren't really advancing yourself internally, like personally developing. Even though you were moving up the ranks, you realized that's not what you wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And what you originally wanted to do in the nonprofit world and what you fell in love with changed as you continued to stay and get seniority. Yeah. And you got to a point where you were a little burned out. And you were like, you know what, I need to explore something else. You could have went to any other job or any other career. You chose real estate and heard that there's obstacles and still said, you know what, I'm willing to give this a try and give it a go and give it everything I got. And having the safety net probably helped a little bit, but it's really interesting when someone's in a full-time career and maybe they're not happy or maybe they're like not doing everything that they want to do or maybe they're not fulfilling their own potential. Mm-hmm. You were able to identify that and then pivot and say, I'm going to get into this. And so how was your first year in real estate? I mean, you're an entrepreneur. That's entrepreneurial.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't good. So I got my license in March of 2016. And I affiliated with the broker where I took my class in person. I liked the woman that managed the office. Seemed like a good fit. It was close to my house. And then as soon as I signed on with them, she put her resignation in and went somewhere else. And she was one of the only people I knew in that office. And so I would show up to the office and there'd either be no one there or no one was willing to help me do anything or, so I just felt like, am I really going to do this, right? So then what happened, I sent the email out and said, hey, everybody, I'm in real estate now. Everybody, come work with me. I'm your friend. I'm brand new, but you should work with me anyway. I did all that stuff. But I had some people on that list that were already in real estate and doing it well. And they said, if you're going to do this, come do it with us. And that changed everything for me. So I came into an environment now where people were positive and I started hearing that term, limiting beliefs and things like that. And I just realized that, what I'd been told about it before, not just from my friends, but my experience with the first brokerage, I just had not had a good experience with it because I wasn't with the right people. So basically, to me, you got to find the right people to be with, no matter what you're doing, but especially in something where you're a solo business owner or you're doing something completely new, you can't do it by yourself.
Well, I think it is a recurring theme where it's easy to isolate and drift. Mm-hmm. If you're launching your own business, you got to make sure you have support systems in place and people that you can lean into, mm-hmm. accountability partners, mentors, someone that can help you get through some of the peaks and valleys. In your case, it was more real estate related, but regardless of the business or whatever the profession is, we have to align ourselves because it's easy to go ahead and feel like everything, all the weight is on us, mm-hmm. and everything we're doing, the weight of the world is on us. And so that's really important too.
Yeah.
What's the biggest, what are you most happy about being in real estate? What do you love about it?
Part of it, one side of it, it's the impact, right? And that's sort of maybe that's why it sort of appealed to me in the first place, coming from nonprofit and having had an impact and then losing that impact and then finding a new impact. And I never realized, I never thought that I had a skill set. I was like, what am I going to do with my life? Where am I going to go? How can I do anything? Because I don't have this skill set. I'm not an engineer or a doctor.
Yeah.
People like me. That's about it, right? I mean, that's all I have, right?
That's a lot.
But it ends up being a lot.
And that's a lot right there.
That's all kind of turned itself on its head when I spoke with somebody, just bringing out, I was talking about, here I am in real estate. This is what I used to do. This is what I love doing. And now I finally found this place where I'm truly helping people. I'm not a salesperson, I'm a consultant. I'm a friend almost in a lot of cases. I've become friends with a lot of these people. But someone, I started talking like that with someone and they said, well, it sounds like you found your purpose. And I said, yeah, I guess I kind of did. I got there in a different way and I didn't know I was going there, but I did. I found my purpose and I was able to take the skills that I knew I had and be intentional with them and plug, just being a nice guy or just being a people person into what I do. And that's why I believe that, real estate is not a sales business. It's a people business, and people is my medium. That people is what I love.
Well, people also, I noticed, fuel you. They give you energy. They don't drain you. Some people, when they're around people, it drains them. They need time to like disconnect. They're done. They come home from work and they're like, I can't be around this anymore. And of course, I'm sure you probably do it to a degree.
Sure.
But I think you found something and maybe you kind of like fell into it, quasi, where you kind of fell into it, but it really helped you like launch and really identify what your purpose is, being able to connect with people, also serve them, also help them create dreams, like make their dreams come true, which is really key.
Yep.
What's the challenge you face as an entrepreneur?
Oh man.
What's something that you struggle with?
Well, part of it is, accountability in some ways. That's why, like, I love being on a team, and I started on a team and it was wonderful. I learned a ton and it was an amazing experience. I went on my own and still had a great time. But I wasn't as accountable to myself as I am to other people. That's something I also learned. It's funny. I think a lot of us are like that with people who are in a service job or feel like they're in a service job. You don't think about yourself first. You're always, putting
think about other
into other people, right? And I don't say that as like I think that's a bad thing in a lot of ways, because you're just putting your energy into the wrong places. And I know we can edit this because I'm losing my train of thought completely. So
you're doing great, but I think like the challenge of like the accountability or self-accountability. The cool thing for you, John, is you are self-accountable. You hold yourself to a high regard. And I also think like just of what I know of you and how long I've known you, one, you're likable, but you grind. You're not afraid of hard work and you'll do what you need to, but you created really good a balance. So the self-accountability that I've seen from you is like how you balance, how you hold yourself accountable to both your clients, to the team, to just the industry standards, but also like to your family and like how you prioritize that. I think there's some self-accountability to that. And I think that's really important. If you're leaving your job and you're going to start your own business, what kind of accountability will you hold yourself to? What's the line that you will either hold yourself to be able to go ahead and create momentum, growth, but also make sure you're balancing out time for your family, your personal time, etc.
Yeah.
I think that's really, really key.
It's key, yeah. And the thing with accountability within the team, it's I don't need someone to ask me every day how many appointments I've done or how many calls I've made. That's not accountability to me. My accountability to me is, what are the results? Where are the results?
Yeah.
I think it's, of course, you're staying on those activities because that's where the results come from. But, a lot of the motivation for me, I get excited when I do well and I have a productive month. But, when someone else on the team is killing it, that's super fun. It's so exciting to see just someone break into something and find a niche or whatever it is. And that really motivates me to do better too. One, because I just see how excited they are about business and that drives me. And then two, now I got to pick up the slack because, I got to catch up and maintain my level of weight on the team,
So there's a little bit of competitiveness to a healthy degree.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that. I think it's okay to you don't want to compare and compete all the time or to the highest level, but I think there is some healthiness when you can do that because it does create this spirit and this energy that says, okay, they're crushing it. I can do it too. Let me go.
Yep. And I find that not just within our team or, the one brokerage, but you find that across the industry in a lot of ways, where I think it's a really collaborative industry. I think a lot of people are supportive. Like you said, they were competitive. Certainly we want to do better and get the listing over someone else, but we're also willing to pick up the phone and answer questions and, and help someone else through something where I had a listing before or whatever it is. And I think it's that attitude of abundance. It's like, there's enough for all of us. And so no one really protects info. We share everything. I mean, people will give you their playbook. People will give you their listing appointment because it matters how you execute it, not what's on the page,
I don't think everyone does, but everyone. I would say most people.
A lot of people will. And you're right. Not everybody, but the people that I've been fortunate enough to be around have been very collaborative. And just, everybody wants, I think it's a collective need to, or collective desire to have a better industry too.
Well,
like the more I push you and the more you push me, the better the industry gets.
Well, and I think whatever industry you look to go ahead and get into as an entrepreneur or launch your business in, it's also like, what can that and how do you collaborate with your competitors? Like in the real estate industry or the real estate housing market, there's enough business we feel that goes around that everyone can go. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, there's competition, yes, but it's healthy. Like there's no like cutthroat. There are some industries, unfortunately, that are a little bit more cutthroat. What makes you different? Like how you serve your clients? Like what makes you different?
I kind of just, honestly, I think it's authenticity. I think a lot of it is. It's just, I have to be comfortable with how I am and how I'm acting and how I feel in order to be confident and comfortable interacting with people. And I forgot the question again, so this is gonna happen to me a lot.
Like, what makes you different on how you serve clients?
Yeah. So I think it's, when I think about it, I grew up as an Army brat.
Yep.
I'm not gonna tell a big story, but so I never had like a hometown. So when I think about what like the home means to people, having moved all around, it's like the home is like what matters, right? Everything that you do, the home is the center point of that. And you get the radius goes out from there, from everything in your life, from your activities to your job, to your friends, to your travel, whatever it is, right? So the home is what's really important. And to me, like I had this, I kind of grappled with like, I wish I had a hometown. It's so cool to grow up in one place. But really, and having gotten into this business and seeing what it's really the place that you live and the place that is yours. And it doesn't have to be the town you grew up in. You create that community. So the home is the center of everything in your life. Community, shop, it's everything, right? So for me, like I think about that when I work with people, and my goal is to get them to where they're going, no matter what the road is, no matter what it looks like. My goal is not to do this and this. My goal is to get them where they want to go.
And it's pretty cool that you position it that way, where the home is where everything starts, ends, everything flows through.
Like, it dictates what school you go to. It dictates what sport teams you're on.
That's the foundation. Like that centers everything else. The rest of the lifestyle or living or work or whatever. Hey, how far is my commute to the office or whatever that looks like? Mm-hmm. So taking that approach is something I've never heard before, right? Like, and so it gives you the ability to go ahead and be a little more empathetic and like connect with people at that deeper level.
Yeah.
Because it's such a big deal for people.
Exactly. Realize the importance of that event, in their life.
Crazy.
It's huge.
What do you do for fun? What's fun?
I love hockey. I love, I'm a retired beer leaguer, of about a year out of playing. But I love the Caps. I love going to games. I'm a DC sports fan. So that's something I do a lot about hockey, especially. I love music. I love to play music, and I love to see live music and just hang out with my family. And,
What do you play?
I play guitar.
Like electric bass or whatever?
I just play acoustic, acoustic 6-string acoustic guitar.
Awesome. You may need to play a song for me.
I might. I can tickle those little steel strings for you.
I love it. Like you can do Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star?
I can rock the hell out of that.
Okay.
Smelly Cat, I got them all.
If you had to give advice as we wrap up, John, if you had to give advice to someone thinking about leaving their full-time job and going into or starting a new career or new business, becoming an entrepreneur, what's one piece of advice you give them?
I say seek advice from people that you trust, but don't let the noise of that advice overrule what you truly want to do. Like if it's good advice to you, then of course you factor that in. But if it's just like people's opinions about how it's going to be or what it's going to be like, or if it's good for you, that doesn't matter, right? That's opinions, right? So you have to, go with what you feel, but based on, research and have a plan. But like, just if you feel like you want to do it, just go do it. If you have the support and resources behind you. But to me, it's just like, don't listen to the noise, cut the noise out, and it's like sort of zero in on where you want to go.
Love it. You're awesome. Love you. You are super legit. Thank you so much for being on, which is really cool.
Thanks for having me.
Please make sure you guys like and subscribe. And until the next episode.
Yeah.
Thanks.